Do you know who your best clients are in your farm business? And how do you define best anyway? What are you doing to take care of them? Because you should be doing something for them special. In today's episode, I'm going to walk you through 5 different ways that you can be taking care of your best clients so they feel appreciated and stick around forever. Let's get started. Hey there, this is Corinna Bench, and welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast. In today's market, it's not enough to just grow your product. You've got to know how to sell it too. Welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast, where we reveal online marketing strategies and tips to help farmers like you get better and more confident at marketing. Learn how to find more customers, increase your sales, and build a strong brand for your farm. Let's start the show. Well, welcome to episode 229 of the My Digital Farmer podcast. I am your host, Corinna Bench, one of the farmers at Shared Legacy Farms out in Elmore, Ohio. I'm also the founder of mydigitalfarmer.com, which is all about trying to help other farmers like you get more confident in your marketing and sales strategy so that you learn how to build your marketing machine and grow a profitable business. How's everyone doing today? Welcome back. Big shout out to all of you who tune in faithfully every single week. If you're new to the show, I'm really glad you're here today. Thanks for checking it out. And I encourage you to subscribe to the podcast. And if you're really new to marketing and you need a little bit of an education and some foundation, head over to my first 10 episodes and binge listen to those first. It's going to give you a really good grounding in how marketing works. You can also get onto my email list because I basically walk you through a crash course in the foundations of marketing principles. And you can do that by going to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe, and you'll get a weekly email from me for like the next 3 months that's specially curated for you to give you the top things you need to know first. So really good stuff. Today's podcast is sponsored by my friends at LocalLine. So what's the difference between a generic e-commerce platform and something like LocalLine? Well, LocalLine is built specifically for farmers. That means that LocalLine has features that other e-commerce platforms don't have, like the ability to sell meat and other variable weighted products, custom delivery and pickup plans, inventory management by pack size, customer segmentation by price list, pre-configured pick and pack lists, low credit card processing rates, and more. In addition to all of these farmer-first features, LocalLine recently launched a service that connects farms with buyers, including restaurants and grocery stores. And they're about to release a subscriptions product. Our family farm here at Shared Legacy Farms has used LocalLine since 2020, and we love that LocalLine is constantly improving their platform. I'm not kidding. Every few weeks, they either upgrade an existing feature or they add a totally new feature to the platform to make it better. And their customer service rocks. I just had an issue come up a few weeks ago. Their developers got on it and they solved the bug in 2 days. For podcast listeners, LocalLine is now offering a free premium feature for 1 whole year when you sign up using my coupon code. Terms and conditions apply. So for more information, go to mydigitalfarmer.com/LocalLine and then type in my coupon code MDF2023. I'll also put the link in the show notes. And now back to the show. Well, this podcast is going to be dropping in the middle to late September, and that means that I am in the process of filling up my new Accelerator cohort. So Accelerator is my mastermind group coaching experience that I run for 3 months over the winter time for up to 20 farmers. And we build a community together. We work on one marketing project at a time each month and slowly build it together piece by piece. It's an awesome experience. If you're interested in applying, there might still be some spots available. by the time this podcast drops, and you can go to mydigitalfarmer.com/coaching to learn all about what's involved and how to actually apply for the program. You can't just hit the buy now button anymore and automatically join. There is a process, an application process, where you meet up with me for a discovery call and we kind of talk through your business to see if it would be a good fit. So if you're interested, head over to mydigitalfarmer.com/coaching to learn more. All right, let's jump into today's topic. Who are your best clients? And how would you define the word best? Today, I want to talk through how important it is for us to notice our best clients and take good care of them. I want you to picture a client that you have right now that you would consider one of your best clients. And I want you to ask yourself, maybe you can hit the pause button and just talk this out wherever you are. Why do you consider them to be one of your best clients? Is it because they are spending a lot of money with you? Is it because they talk you up to their friends and they are well connected? Is it because they build you up and appreciate you and do nice things for you, like give you little gift cards or bring you a 6-pack of beer from time to time, or write you notes and say, wow, I love it that you're my farmer? Or is it because they're just deeply entrenched in the same values that you have and you feel a kinship with them? And whenever you're around them, they bring you energy and you value that so much because perhaps you're drained by all the stuff in farming and you like to be around people who bring energy into the room. Or maybe they're clients who bring energy into your business, into your customer community. I know I have a lot of clients who fit the bill in that regard inside of my CSA's private Facebook group, who over time, maybe they're not my huge, biggest spenders, but they bring value to my product because they're the ones that are driving content creation in the group. They're the ones who have all these great ideas for what to make with my food, and they share it with my community. And so then my community grows because of those key influencers who are participating and trying to push the ball forward. So how are you defining your best clients? What's the behavior that you're lifting up in your mind? It's important that we take care of these customers because we want that value to continue to come back. And there are things as business owners that we can be doing to appreciate them and to reward that behavior, whatever it is that they're giving to us. One of the things I have learned that I've always taught to volunteers or my staff or customers, even back when I was a leader in the church, I would talk about what gets rewarded gets repeated. And I see this all the time with my own customer base. When I reward the behaviors that our business culture values, and I openly talk about that, or I say thank you, or I appreciate things, I have noticed that those behaviors not only get repeated by that same person, but they multiply to other customers, and it begins to become a part of the whole business culture. So this is kind of a fun topic to explore. I wanted to spend an entire episode talking about some very specific ways that you could be appreciating your quote unquote best clients, however you decide to define that. For the purpose of this episode, most of my suggestions are kind of coming through the lens of, okay, these are my big spenders. And I know how much they spend with me in an average year, and I want to make sure that I take really good care of them. But it could very easily also apply to some of the other people on my list that have great value to my business, not because of how much they spend with me, but the other ways that they bring value to me. So this is going to be a practical episode. I'm going to give you some very specific ideas for what we could be doing for these clients, the types of categories of things you could be doing for these clients. And maybe today you're going to hear one or two ideas that would be an easy lift for you. And you can try to do one of those things for your best clients in the next couple of months. All right. So before we get started, I just want to remind you that our revenue, if we want to grow our revenue, one of the best places to do that is to try to encourage our customers to come back and buy again, right? We make more revenue from our repeat buyers than we do from our brand new buyers. And I'm always asking the question, how can I get customers to come back and buy again and buy more things? I want to increase the lifetime customer value. And when I begin to cultivate customers who have a very high customer value to me, then I see overall my revenue increase dramatically. So the more types of buyers like that we can find and nurture and build up, well, then the better for our bottom line, right? So before I get started giving you these very specific suggestions for how you can appreciate them, I want you to make sure that you have spent just a couple of seconds to identify who these clients even are. Okay, so I want you to write them down. I feel like you should know your top 5. And I actually can go and look on my local line reports and see who are the people that have spent the most with me. I actually see those same names are kind of at the top of the list every single week when I print off my store reports for my online store stuff. But I don't know what all the different enterprises are in your business. But I want you to take some time to figure out who are my top 5 clients. If you don't know their names, go do a little digging and figure out who they are and write them down somewhere and keep those names in front of you and make it your goal sometime in the next 2 or 3 months, or definitely before the season is over, to do one of these things I'm about to walk you through, something special for each of those 5. Now you could decide, I'm going to do my top 10, or maybe you're going to have like the $10,000 club, or you're going to kind of create your own little container or your own little goal that you're trying to coach people to get to. And once they hit that, that's sort of your point of reference. But I hope that you'll at least maybe start with your top 5 and figure out who they are. Hopefully you have an idea of who maybe even the top 2 are just off the top of your head, but you might have to go and look this up. Okay, now once you've done that, let me walk you through some of the types of things that you could be doing with them to appreciate this positive behavior that they are bringing to your brand, whether it's, they're spending a lot, or, they're adding a lot of value to my community, they're bringing a bunch of momentum and energy into my life, however you're defining the word best client. Okay, so here we go. I've sort of broken it up into 6 different categories, okay? And I have done all of these, I think, over the course of my 15 years in business. But there are a few on this list that I haven't yet done that I'm kind of excited about. But let's dive in. Okay, here we go. The first category is, I think, really easy. This is personalized communications. And this is where you would write a personal handwritten note to your best spenders, and you would just say, I really appreciate you. And this is not a 1-sentence thing that sounds very generic. Spend some time being very specific about what you appreciate about them. What I have done in the past is I've taken the time to write a really good first draft, and then I'll photocopy it or take a picture of it, and then I'll store that somewhere so that the next time I need to write another letter like that, I have sort of a template that I can work off of, and I don't have to work so hard with my brain to come up with this values language. But this is a really great way to connect with your big spenders, just to send them a note through snail mail and, put a nice little postage stamp on it, maybe invest in a nice piece of stationery or a card or a personalized card that you buy from the store, and write them a note. That will mean a ton because they know how many customers you have, and the fact that you're taking the time to write them will mean a lot to them. You could also write a personalized email, but I feel like if you're going to do this, you might as well write it on a card and send it. That goes a long way. My second category is what I call VIP events. And I have a lot of suggestions under this one. So for example, you could organize a private tour of your farm that's just for them specifically. Like you invite them out just one-on-one, or their family, or maybe it's a couple, and you walk them around and you have maybe a dinner with them in your house or something. You make them feel really special. You could also, if this is a small enough group, you could just do this for a group of 5 couples, right? And tell them, hey, this is a special private farm tour that I'm only doing for some of my best clients, and I'd like to have you come out. Private dinners at either your home, or maybe you take them actually out to eat to a restaurant, one of your favorite restaurants. We do this with a couple of our clients every winter where we take them out to eat, and it's our treat. And usually it will be either a new restaurant that we want to test out, or it will be one of our favorite chefs. And sometimes if the chef knows we're coming, they might even do a little something special for us because we can tell them what the intention is behind this meal, and they usually take good care of us. You can also go a little more low key and maybe take them out for a beer. So Kurt has a couple of clients that he's really clicked with in this regard, and he will invite them out just to go grab some brewskis. And that feels really casual. You know, for these customers, it makes them feel special because they know he's not doing this with every single customer. And it makes them feel like I'm standing out. I get the special access, friendship access with this farmer, and they share fun stories together, and there's this camaraderie, and it really does create a different connection. And we notice that these people end up being even more loyal in the years later, or they spend more money with us. They buy more things because they just really want to support us. Okay, this is something I haven't done yet, but I am totally doing this winter. Buy season tickets for either like the theater, or maybe it's your local hockey team or baseball team or basketball team. Buy season tickets, become a season ticket holder, and get enough extra that every single time you go, you get to invite a different customer to come with you, or a different couple. So we're going to do this there's a local opera house, Pemberville Opera House. Now, don't worry, we're not going to listen to opera. It just happens to be an old opera house. But they bring in the coolest regional bands and musical shows like ever. Like it'll be bluegrass. It'll be these people from that almost the kinds of people you'd hear on like NPR. And they just do amazing shows. It's kind of this little hidden gem. And so this year I'm going to become a sponsor of this opera house, or farm will, I should say. And I know that with that membership level, we get a certain number of tickets. We get our farm's name gets in the program. But I'm mostly doing this because I want to have a way to gift something to my higher end clients, and I can invite them out to hang out with us and have a cool experience. So think about that. That might be something that would be fun for you, gets you out of the house too, but it gives you an excuse to reach out to some of your different members and say, hey, I'd love to do this with you. And they're going to feel really special. Okay, private showroom visits. So this doesn't really apply to my farm, but I was trying to think of things like if you run a winery, or if you have a different kind of farm enterprise business where you can bring people behind the curtain to show off the craftsmanship, or maybe the design process, or how the brewing happens, or hey, we're bottling this tonight, and you can come and watch it happen, and only very special people get to come and see this, right? That kind of stuff could be really special. Another kind of version of this might be like we had a client who bankrolled a new tractor that we had to buy a couple years ago, and he loaned us the money at a really low interest rate. He actually reached out to us and asked us, can I do this for you? How can I help you financially? And so, an idea to like take care of that, to appreciate that sort of awesome customer behavior is, when the tractor arrives, to make sure he gets invited to come out with his family or with his wife, and we get to drive him around in the tractor, or we let him ride the tractor, or we take a picture of him in front of the tractor, right? Doing something that acknowledges like, hey, your investment in us showed up at the farm. We want you to come see what you helped pay for and appreciate you. So that's sort of like a private visit, right? To kind of say, here's what you helped us do. And then maybe the other one under this would be like a VIP networking event. And so what I thought of here, one of my customers in my CSA used to plan the events for the Toledo Art Museum. And so the donors, people who became members, I should say, at the art museum, or people who donated lots of money, he was kind of responsible for them. And he would plan these really cool events at the museum itself. He would organize them. He would pay attention to the menu and the music that was coming, and he was just the event planner. He made it all happen. And I remember talking to him once when he came out here to the farm to help volunteer. I was sort of picking his brain. I'm like, what are you doing to take care of these high-end clients? And he sort of talked through like how these events that he offers for them, they're one of the perks of membership, and there's different levels. As you go up the level of membership, the higher price points have even more exclusivity, like, you get to hang out with the president of the museum, right? He's at those events. And what he was pointing out to me was that what some of the clients really like is having access to the network of people. And so this has gotten me thinking about folks who fall into this category, who are bigger spenders in my business, that one of the things they might actually value is being able to hang out with other big spenders like them who have a similar interest in philanthropy or doing good things to help local business. And they would probably get along with each other. They would probably appreciate meeting one another. And who knows what kinds of other future backroom deals might come out of being able to hang out with like-minded people. So just be aware that sometimes when we create a special VIP event, where maybe they get access to a high-level chef, like someone who is really hard to access, if you can coordinate an event like that, your big spenders would appreciate that, not only for the experience itself, but for the opportunity to network with other people who are in their league. So just kind of think about that. Okay, so that's the whole category of what I would call VIP events, organizing some of those for your quote-unquote best clients. The third category is customized gifts. You knew I was going to bring up gifts, right? So many different things that you could gift your client. And this is where you really just have to think about, how can I personalize this present? When you know your best clients really well and you know a little bit about their hobbies, what they're interested in, the more personalized you can get, the better. So, for example, my husband hangs out with some of these guys I was talking about earlier. They like to go out for a beer. And so whenever he sees a really cool craft beer that's hard to find, or it's this new limited edition, he'll often grab a case and he'll just bring it to the pickup site and share it with them. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Like when you know what certain people would appreciate, or if you have this kind of common ground together, that's a great example of a gift you can pass along. Putting together a customized gift basket that features a selection of your premium products is also an awesome idea. It's sort of a way to say, hey, I really appreciate the fact that you're buying all my stuff all the time, so I'm putting together some of your favorites. Maybe you throw in some things that are a little bit hard to come by or that no one else can even access, and they feel like, wow, I'm getting special treatment here, and this is awesome. They'll feel appreciated. So tailoring the contents of that gift basket based on their preferences, and then maybe writing a note of appreciation, surprising them with that, right? The surprise and delight factor goes a long way. Knowing their birthdays or anniversaries or other important events, like, if there was maybe a death in the family for someone that was really close to them and you want to acknowledge the anniversary of that, like paying attention to some of those things might also have a special touch. I do know some of the birthdays of our best clients, and we try to do a little something for them. It's not a big deal, but we'll just get them a little, very small present. Doesn't have to be a lot of money coming out of your pocket for this kind of thing. It's more just paying attention and noticing it. Donating to their favorite charity, if you happen to know what that is. Showing up for their important moments in life. So that could be seen as perhaps a quote unquote type of gift. Giving them store credit as a surprise. If you have an online store, we use Local-Line. This is one of my favorite premium features that I pay extra for, and it is worth every penny. The store credit feature is so awesome because it's really easy to just go into the customer tab, do a search for a specific customer. They come up on the screen, and then there's this little column over there that says store credit, and it has a number next to it, and you just go in and you type in a number. It could be whatever you want. It could be $100. And Local-Line actually keeps track, like a history of whether you deduct or add or whatever, so I can kind of see what's been happening in there. But I often go in there and just add store credit. I have this one customer who comes every single week. Her name is Joan. She comes every single week to my CSA pickup site to get her box. And she parks her car and she gets out and she brings me a case of Gatorades and puts them into my staff fridge. She's been doing this every single week all season long. You guys, that's so awesome that she's thinking about my team. She's taking the time to go to Costco and buying that little package of gifts, of drinks for my crew. They really appreciate that. And especially in the hot summer months when they're just, really hot outside and they're sweating to death. They're coming in and we can just say, hey, we've got this freezer or fridge stocked with Gatorade. You can help yourself to it whenever you want. And this actually comes from one of our customers. Like I can say that to my crew and they're like, wow, our customer base is thinking about us, right? So that kind of behavior is something I want to reward and I want to appreciate. So I go into Joan's store credit account every now and then and I just add, $20, $30 at a time every now and then. And I tell her, I'll acknowledge that I have done that. I'll let her know when she picks her up her box. I'll say, hey, just wanted you to know I dropped in a little bit of money into your store credit just to say thank you. I really appreciate how you're always showing up for my team and taking good care of us. Okay. So using a store credit feature like that and just dropping in some money so they can go back and buy more stuff. So if you are trying to reward customers who are spending a lot of money with you, this is a great idea because guess what? When they see that you've done that, when you've dropped in an extra $30, $40 or whatever it might be, maybe it's only $10, they'll often, this is just kind of anecdotally what I've noticed, they'll often go in and spend it. And then it's almost like they double it. They spend enough to basically make up for what you just put in there. Super interesting. You should test it out and see if that happens to you too. But this is a really great way to send a gift. I also like to gift my best clients with new products that I want them to test out. And I'll tell them that. That's kind of how I'll spin it. I'll say, hey, we want to release this new bundle or this new value-added product in a few weeks, and I'm kind of curious what you think of it. So here's a gift. Try it out. Tell me what you think. If you like it, go post about it. Take a picture of it and post about it in the Facebook group and say that you enjoyed it, because that'll also provide a little bit of, I know that'll also provide a little bit of social proof. It'll grease the wheels. It'll kind of begin that runway process so that when it's finally released to everyone, they will have heard about it or seen some of these people talk about it and make it more likely for them to give it a try. But that's a great way to kill two birds with one stone, where you not only appreciate one of your best clients, but you also seed the idea for a new product for your entire customer base if you ask them to talk about it and post about it. Today's episode is sponsored by my online course, CSA Early Bird Campaigns That Convert. This is my step-by-step guide to getting more of your CSA members to renew their shares early. Now, if you are like most CSA farmers, you are always worried about CSA retention. And I remember in the early years of our business, before we knew how to build a promotional launch and get people to renew, I would spend all winter long wondering how many of these people are actually going to come back and what should my sales goal actually be? How many people am I going to have to replace? Then I learned how to do this renewal campaign using a promotional launch. And the first time that I used it, it was mind-blowing. I had over 70% of my people commit to my CSA by the end of October. Now I rinse and repeat this system every single year in the fall, and I have retention rates between 80 and 90%. So I decided this was so groundbreaking for me that I knew it would be helpful to other CSA farmers to learn this sales process. So I put together an online course that walks you step by step through the whole process, how I do it. It's one of my first courses I ever made. It continues to be one of my most popular ones. And so if you're a CSA farmer trying to figure out how do I get my members to renew, this might be the ticket. What you're going to learn inside is how to build an irresistible offer that's going to make your members so excited that they're clamoring to sign up on the first day that you open up the doors to your offer. The secret is learning how to build that offer the right way. And that's what I walk you through. But I also give you templates of my emails, of my social media posts, of all of the things that I do to create buzz and energy in the weeks before I actually open the doors to the offer. And that's super key. You need to know how to build the runway so you get people all jazzed up and they're ready to buy. I'm actually in the process of building my new offer for my renewal promotion campaign right now. I will be launching this in the middle of October, so I've got to start working on it in September and putting all the pieces in place. Luckily, because I've been doing it for several years, I just pull out the template and I adjust a few things and I rinse and repeat it. If you're a CSA farmer, then CSA renewals are just around the corner. This is the time of year to invest in this. I will help you build your entire campaign in as little as 2 weeks. To sign up or to learn more, head to mydigitalfarmer.com/earlybird. And now back to the show. Okay. And then another idea that I had was to gift them a weekend getaway for their family, or if they're just a couple, or maybe just for themselves. If this would work really well if you're the kind of farm business that has like an Airbnb on your property, or maybe even like if your customer is spending enough with you, you could afford to do something like that and be like, hey, here's $200. Like, I want you to go and have a night away at this really cool place on the water, and it's on me, and I'm going to make sure you have a nice bottle of wine there, and you arrange something with a host and you just have it all set up. That's something that I haven't done yet, but I have thought about, because there are some clients in my customer base that are that valuable to me that I think something like that would mean a ton to them. They would feel really well taken care of, and it would give them a way to get away from their homes, from their families, have some time away, and it would just endear them to us even more. So I'm just going to offer that to you. I know that's a little bit high price point, but again, for some of your best clients, you might be willing to invest that amount of money. Let me pause here for a second and just point this out if it hasn't occurred to you. I know I've said this before on other episodes. Some of you might be thinking, I'm barely making ends meet. Like, how are you affording to buy presents for your customers like this? And I don't do this for everyone, but I do see this kind of like an expense in my budget every year. And it has a lot of value to me. I find money for this. And here's why. Because I know that when I take care of my best clients, it causes them to become lifetime members, lifetime customers, whether they're in my CSA or they're just shopping a la carte from me. They become loyal when I take good care of them. and that causes them to come back and buy again and again. So if I know that my best clients are going to spend $2,000 a year with me, and they're going to be with me for 10 more years, I'm doing the math in my head and I'm thinking, am I willing to spend $100 or $50 on this customer, or even $20 on this customer as a gift, in order to continue to push that flywheel and encourage them to be that kind of a spender and a supporter of our farm? Depending on the value that they bring to me, that is an absolute 100% yes. So when we look at the cost, the quote unquote cost of gifts, I want you to look at it through the lens of, what is the lifetime value of this client to me? And I see these things not as expenses, but as investments to encourage more of these kinds of behaviors. And I see these kinds of clients increasing in number every single year. And I don't know if they're all talking to each other, or if some of the times I'm posting what I did for some of these clients in the Facebook group, and maybe that's encouraging some of my members to be like, one day I want to be a client like that. I don't know, but I just want you to realize that this isn't just something to look at like, oh, that's going to cost money out of my pocket. I think it's an investment in your business, actually, because anytime you take really good care of your best people, it's just going to stimulate more of that behavior, and it's going to come back and bless you again. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Exclusive offers. This is another way that you can appreciate and take care of your best customers. So you could offer them exclusive discounts that only a small subset of your people get. And you don't even have to tell people, you don't have to tell the big wide world that you're doing this, that you've got this special discount for your, $20,000 club members or whatever. You don't have to talk about it like that. You can just let them know, hey, here's a special promo code that I'm giving you because you've sort of reached this level, and you can use this anytime this year in the store, and it's going to get you 10% off. Or maybe it's just an exclusive discount on one specific offer, one specific product bundle, and you just drop that into their email or into their text message every now and then, say, hey, because you've been so awesome, I just want to let you know I'd like to gift you with one of my orange watermelons, or an orange, yellow, and red seedless watermelon this week. You can get it for XYZ amount, right? So exclusive offers. You could also give them early priority access to new products. If you are introducing a new product line and you don't have that many of them, then maybe you only give them to your best clients first, and they know that you're doing that they get priority. So there's a little bit of a eye contact moment where either you communicate that in an email, or somehow you got to let them know that you're doing this just for them first. And then they're able to get access to that stuff, and that just makes them feel special. It could be a loyalty reward program. I don't do this, but if you wanted to implement some kind of a tiered loyalty program where your high spending clients get points or rewards for each purchase, and as they accumulate those points, you maybe offer them free products, or maybe they get a farm experience. You could have a whole system set up like that encourages more clients to graduate to this type of behavior level. You could have a limited time offer to your high spending clients where you make them feel like they're part of this exclusive club that's going to get special benefits. And then my last idea was coming up with some kind of super, super high ticket product or offer that only a very small fraction of your customer base could even afford. I have not done this yet, but I am trying to figure out what this could even be. This is something I've heard over and over again in marketing podcasts that I listen to and influencers that I follow. They recommend that when you build out your product ladder, you should have lots of things in your product ladder because that's how you increase your revenue, right? You draw your clients back to your product ladder and get them to graduate and go up the ladder of products. And they say there should be something at the top of the ladder that is so exclusive, so high end, it's going to feel ridiculous to even put it out there because the price is so high. And they argue that there will be one person or two people, depending on how big your audience is. You will eventually get to a point in your business where you might have one or two people that actually buy that thing. And it's a very interesting phenomenon because what's happening is that these are people for whom money is really no object, and they just want to collect everything that you sell. So I just want you to think about that for a second, that sometimes creating a super high ticket offer is in a way a form of appreciating an awesome client, because you're giving them an opportunity to do something that no one else can access. And that actually helps them feel special. That's a little bit like mindset shift there, but I just want you to think about that as an idea. Okay. The fifth category is holiday greetings. I don't have a lot to say here except just don't forget that there are important holidays, especially like Christmas is a big one here in North America. I always send thank you cards during the major holidays to all of my CSA clients, but maybe if you can't afford to do that because you have such a huge customer base, or that would be way too much time to send out cards to everyone, maybe you just do it for your top clients and you send them either a Christmas card, or maybe you send them a little Christmas holiday gift basket. Okay, my last category of how you can appreciate and notice your best clients is to give them accolades publicly. Give them credit, give them props in front of your community. Notice them. And I have a few examples to help you see what I mean by this. So there is a woman in our CSA named Karen Ayers, and she made this thing called roasted freezer marinara sauce many years ago. She posted about it and it went viral. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, what a cool idea. And everyone in the CSA, it seems like, got on that train and did it and was posting pictures of it. I know that made Karen feel like $1 million. And the year after, when we came to the same time of year, we posted Karen Ayers's roasted freezer marinara sauce recipe / idea again in the community. And we put it in our CSA recipes for that week in the newsletter. And to this day, every year, we have done that year after year. It's like part of our content creation ritual now, that we always bring up Karen Ayers and her roasted freezer marinara sauce. She has become a celebrity because we point to her every year and we say, isn't she amazing? She's so legendary that she has her own recipe now in the CSA. I could say that for a bunch of people in our group. But that is a way that you give accolades, you give credit to a particular customer. And she is one of my most loyal fans. So she may not be in the top 10 of buyers, but she's up there. But she's also really valuable to me because she is sharing so many neat ideas for how to cook with our food in that private group. And so I want to lift her up, and I want to try and encourage other people in the group to think in their minds to be like, one day maybe I'll be like Karen and have something named after me, or have everyone point to a recipe that I contributed to this group because it went viral. Assigning titles to people in your community so that everyone knows what they're known for. So we have a few people in our group who are, known for being amazing bakers, or he's the grilling guy, or he's the hot sauce, spicy Tex-Mex expert in the group. And if you can associate those titles with people, that's another way that you give them props. You lift them up. You point to them and say, this person needs to be here, because if they weren't in this community, we would be missing something, right? And that maybe sometimes is all that a person needs, is just validation, and they need to be seen. And just sharing their content. I feel like I just said this, but I'm going to reiterate it. When you take someone's content, user-generated content that they maybe posted in the Facebook group, and you get permission, I'll ask the person and say, hey, can I download this picture onto my phone and can I share it on my public Facebook page? I did that with this woman named Lindsay who posted these gorgeous chocolate beet muffins. These are one of those recipes that goes viral every year. It's kind of part of our regular content rotation, but she posted a really gorgeous picture of them. So I said, hey, can I have this photo so that I can talk about this thing and I'll give you credit? She's like, absolutely. She was like honored that I asked her, right? So if you have some of your key influencers in your group who are really good at sharing ideas, sharing pictures, who are the foodies that are adding value to the community because they're the ones coming up with the exit strategies and always posting good stuff, and you want to reward that behavior, well, then take their content and share it and point to it and tag them in Instagram stories, like point to them and say, look at these amazing people that we are collecting in our community. Don't you want to be a part of this, right? That makes them feel like they belong. It makes them feel like you noticed them. It makes them feel like they are important, that they are influencers. So show them off. And then finally, under this category, name a crop after them or name a product or a package after their expertise. This was an idea that I've had toying around. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna play around with it in the store this coming summer or end of summer here. I just talked about Karen Ayers' marinara, right? So I was thinking that maybe I would bundle a bunch of stuff together in the online store, all the stuff that you would need to make this freezer marinara the way she does it, and that I might call it something. I could actually call it Ayers' Garden to Jar Marinara Mix, or Karen's Taste of Italy Trio, or Ayers' Easy Marinara Magic Kit, tomatoes, peppers, onions, eggplant, right? And I would just bundle all of that together, but I would name the product after her. Similarly, I have a guy named Bob Sini who's just always doing stuff with hot peppers. And so I might bundle a whole bunch of crazy hot peppers together and call it Zini's Zesty Pepper Kick or something. I don't know. I'm just playing around with naming product bundles after some of my customers. And that could be a way that you appreciate them. And suddenly they become their own identity. They feel special and noticed. So that could be a fun one for you. One great tool to help you come up with fun names for that, if you decide to go that route, is to use ChatGPT. I actually have done that, and I've gone in and said, hey, this is the product that I want to bundle, the things I want to put in there. I want it to be named after this person. Can you come up with 5 names of a product bundle for my store that would include this and this, right? And then it spits out these fun little zippy ideas for names, and then I can either used one, or in most cases, I'll kind of mix and match them together and come up with my own version. But it's a great way to just brainstorm ideas. So if you don't know about ChatGPT, where have you been? You need to learn about them. It's an AI tool that really helps you just brainstorm or outline some content or come up with ideas for what to talk about. So I have a ChatGPT challenge. If you want to learn how to use the tool, you can go to mydigitalfarmer.com/AI and subscribe, and it'll walk you through a 5-day challenge. It takes 5 minutes. It literally is just going to give you a question to copy and paste into the AI prompt, and then hit return, and then just see what comes back. And it'll just show you the kinds of stuff that ChatGPT can do to help you with your farm business and marketing. So that's something I just lift up to you. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my suggestions for some of the things you could be doing for your best clients. And so my call to action for you from this episode is I want you to, number one, figure out who are your best clients, however you define that. Are they going to be your big spenders, or is it going to be something else? But I want you to run a report or figure out what that list is, write those names down, decide what your threshold is going to be for big spender, or maybe it's a different category, how you're defining your best customer, okay? Then I want you to identify one way, just pick one way that you are going to appreciate each of those people on that list this fall, this season. And you can use some of the ideas that I've shared in this episode. Maybe you have another idea that came to you as a result of listening to this. Then I want you to make a plan and actually do it. I want you to implement that thing, that plan of I'm going to appreciate this customer by doing XYZ, and then do it. Just do it. Set a deadline and do it. And then I want you to tell me what happens. Okay, you can go on to Instagram at mydigitalfarmer and you can message me and tell me what you did, or you can email me at mydigitalfarmers@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your suggestions. And if you have another idea for a great way to appreciate a best client, would you please, please, please email me, because I always love adding ideas to my notes here. If I ever present somewhere at a conference, it's something I can add to it, or it might be something that I can do with my own clients. So if I'm missing a huge category here that didn't occur to me, I want to know about it. So email me, okay? That's all I got today. Today's show notes can be found at mydigitalfarmer.com/229. If you like today's episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, and maybe go share this episode with a farmer friend. Let them know that I exist, because I'm trying to get as many people as possible to listen to the show. There's so much good stuff here. Don't forget, if you want to get more marketing tips, get onto my email list. I have some awesome things to send your way. You can subscribe at mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. I am looking for some podcast guests for the fall episodes. If you know somebody that you think would be great on the show, or if you have a really cool story that you'd love to share, something that you tried and you just want to tell me about it, it can be real short. Please reach out to me at mydigitalfarmers@gmail.com, and we'll follow up and see if it's a match. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.